Hi, welcome to Let's Do Books. I'm Tara, and you can email me at tara@thelesbianreview.com with any questions or comments, or come join our Facebook group, the Lesbian Review Book Club. Our August book club book will be Embracing the Dawn by Jeannie Levick from Bold Strokes Books. Today we're talking about this month's book club book, The Sublime and Spirited Voyage of Original Sin by Colette Moody, which is also from Bold Strokes Books. Brooklyn Goodrich, my partner in crime and fellow reviewer at the Lesbian Review, is here with me today. Yay, Brooklyn, you're back! Woo!
Hi!
This episode will probably have spoilers, so if you haven't read the book yet, go read it and come back. You should definitely read it because it is a super fun book. So I'm going to start by just saying, for the three of you who haven't read it and want to soldier on and listen to this podcast anyway, we'll just say what the book is about. Celia Pierce is a seamstress, and she is going to marry this guy who is completely vain and kind of a jerk. I can't use any of the words I want to use, or Sheena will cut them out. But anyway, he's pretty awful, but you know what? Like, he's at least a doctor. And one night she's supposed to go to a ball with him. She's gone to his house to fit him for a new outfit that she's made for this ball. And these pirates storm the house looking for a doctor, and they take her instead. And so she is on the Original Sin, which is a pirate ship with its acting captain, Gayle, until they can return her home. They brought her to help patch up some of the pirates after a battle that happened at sea. And there's she has a gypsy who reads her fortune, and that leads to her kind of taking the adventure of a lifetime and maybe falling for this Captain Gayle. So that's pretty much it.
In a nutshell.
So what did you think of this book?
I wasn't sure because I had been going through a couple of pirate books lately, and like I was just trying to find one that was good. But after Celia's husband like farted while he was hiding, I knew this was the book for me. Like, I was like, okay, if you're gonna write that in there, I'll read it. So, I'm pretty.
And what'd you think of the characters? Who did you like?
Oh yeah.
Favorite?
So there's a huge colorful cast in the book, but I wouldn't worry because it's not like they throw a whole bunch of names at you or anything like that. But like, your main characters are gonna be your two females, which is Gayle, the pirate captain, and then you have Celia, the seamstress, who's playing doctor aboard the Original Sin. Basically, she's not playing; they know she's a seamstress, to be honest. But,
yeah.
So what? Gayle is basically Gayle is like standing there, she's trying to prove her worth because this is her father's ship, and he's actually out injured, like at a bar somewhere, just enjoying life, and she's out kind of trying to. What did she leave originally?
Oh, right, because so they go to drop her dad off. It is at a bar, but it's basically like, I think it's their old doctor that they drop him off with. He runs a bar now. He's not in the pirating business anymore. And so she knows that her dad would be in good hands there, because he needs the stability in the place to kind of to recover from his, because it's a pretty bad injury that he got in that battle. And while they're there, there's this other guy who is a doctor named James who asks for their help to go and save his sister, who was captured by pirates, by other pirates, along with a bunch of women at a brothel.
Yeah.
And so, of course, in his opinion, his perfect sister, who knows why she was, how could that happen? How could she possibly have been captured with these prostitutes?
She's not a whore. I mean, she's not a prostitute.
She's not. It turns out she's fond of that. However, we did say there would be spoilers. And so they go to try and actually successfully do save his sister. And so that's what kind of sets them on the journey.
And so, like, Gayle wants the pirate ship after her dad is done with it, basically. And so this is basically her chance to prove she can bring back spoils and prove her worth to the crew so that they won't overthrow her being a woman. They always talk about the curse of the woman on the ship, even though they wind up with like 3-4 women on the ship. It's like...
Because there's Gayle, who's the captain, who really, I mean, she really is just keeping things moving until her dad can hopefully come back.
She's
and then there's Celia, who, you know, turns out if she can stitch a good line on a dress, she can also do it on a man. Anne, who they rescue. And then there's one other pirate named Molly, who is a woman who is, she's not beautiful, but she's pretty badass.
Yeah. She's sexy. Like, not, you can, if you cannot be beautiful, but you could be sexy in your attitude, in the way you, like, I thought she was kind of gross, to be honest. Like, I mean, like, I thought she was cool.
She's supposed to be.
Yeah. Anyway, so there's Gayle, and then there's Celia, and I like Celia because you see her transformed in this book. She goes from speaking proper to saying, like, the words arse and verily and things like that, and just talking just like a pirate. But you see that transition, like, through the book very slowly.
Yeah. I think, you know, Celia was my favorite, too. Like, I liked Gayle very much. She's great. And, I mean, you know, tall, sexy pirate, was not to love. Mm-hmm. But I think Celia, I loved her attitude. Like, she's super spunky. She takes no crap from anybody. She is not afraid to tell, you know, a big, bad, way bigger than she is pirate off. And, like, she just has so much attitude. It's awesome. And I really liked her and Gayle together. I thought they worked really well as a couple. They balanced each other, and they were really fun. They were really fun to read.
And I just want to, just as like a side note, I always find they always make pirate captains either redheads or blondes. Always.
She was a redhead, wasn't she?
She was a redhead.
What was Branded Anne?
A redhead, I think.
Oh.
Or blonde. I think she might have been blonde. I don't know, but I just always feel like they make pirates like redheaded.
Oh, okay.
So the writing style, you're better at that than I am, actually.
I liked the way it was written. I would say that this is more of like an action adventure. It's more of an adventure book, I think, than anything else. The romance is there. I wouldn't say it necessarily is a romance novel. I think it's more of like a historical adventure. It's super easy to read. The thing that I like about all of Colette Moody's books is that they are hilarious. And while I think this book is funny, I don't think it's her funniest book, nor does it need to be. I think it leans way more into the adventure than the comedy. But there were still moments that had me laughing out loud. But, I mean, I highly recommend all of her books because they're hilarious. They're engaging. Her book, The Seduction of Moxie, takes place, I don't want to fumble it. It's like in the 1920s or 30s. And it reads kind of like a screwball comedy, if you've ever seen those kind of movies with, kind of like Bringing Up Baby with Cary Grant and Katharine Hepburn, like those really zany, silly comedies of the early 30s. It's a lot like that, and is a lot of fun. And then Parties in Congress is a contemporary political romance that's also fabulous. I can't recommend any of her books enough, and I wish we had like 20 more of them because she's such a fabulous writer.
Well, just a quick plug for all the readers like who are like, oh yeah, this Original Sin and what are these other books? If you go to Amazon and it's still up, I checked, you can get all three of those books, the Sublime and Veer, Spirited Voyage of the Original Sin, the Moxie, and that other one that Tara just mentioned, all for $10 basically, all three of them.
Yeah, which is like...
It's pretty good.
It's an insane deal.
Yeah.
Three lesbian books for $10 in one bundle.
I feel like
I don't know how Bowles hasn't pulled that down, so hurry up and pick it up, because if they do pull it down, you're going to be sad that you missed out on, like, possibly literally the best deal in lesbian.
Yeah.
What did you think about how it was written?
I thought it was really funny, like, and it was paced very well. It was super funny, but at the same time, it carried like an air of seriousness. There were some times where I was like, ooh, that was rough.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
What were your pros?
My pros, it is the comedy. I think it really sets it apart from all the other pirate books that I've been reading, and it just gets you into the story. Like, the language really got me into the story. Like, Tara knows this, and I got in trouble. My dad was like, stop putting holes in the tree, but I was throwing knives and scissors, and when I say knives, I mean my box cutter, into my tree, because there's a scene where Gayle, like, throws a knife into a guy's eye, and I was like, that's so cool. I want to be like Gayle when I grow up.
And then your dad said no.
Yeah.
You can't let him get you down, Brooklyn.
Do you have any cons, or do you have any pros? Both. Give me both. Good news, bad news.
Okay. Good and bad. Okay. Pros. Definitely, for me, the comedy. I think this is my favorite. This is my, not that I've read a lot of lesbian pirate books, but this is my very favorite. Because I think it does a great job of balancing, like, the comedy with the action, with the adventure, with the romance. It really is kind of one of those books that has everything. It has really creative swearing, which I particularly appreciate in a book. It's, like I said, just badass women doing badass things. Hopefully Sheena doesn't have to put the explicit tag on this episode now.
I think so.
No, like, I like that it's, and all of the women are different.
Yeah.
I think the other thing that I like, we end up with 4 women on this ship, and no 2 of them are the same. And it would be easy in a book that's this funny, in a book that is an adventure, to not have any real depth to the characters, and I think luckily that's not something that happened here. I think there's a lot of depth, especially to Celia and Gayle, and I really like that, and I really appreciated that. Cons. She's only put out 3 books. I want more books. No, I don't think any of them are cons. Maybe a content warning. There is definitely, like, the threat of sexual assault present in the book. No rape happens on the page. I think it references rapes. There's definitely, like, the threat of rape.
This is what made me cringe, though. There is a line in the book that goes, and for a moment he wondered what it would feel like inside of her, and I just, like, cringed so hard. I was like, ugh.
Well, and the one pirate, who I think is the one that they rescued Anne from, it mentioned that he had a preference for little girls.
Yeah, like, he's talking like 8-year-olds.
Yeah, exactly. Which is kind of one of those, again, thank God, not on the page, but it's also, like, it's very, it tells you who he is, for sure, but kind of in a way that, you know, as a mother of small girls, made me want to barf.
Yeah, it made me, like, I was just kind of like, ugh, I just felt a little dirty it's like, I don't know. That was my only con. Just a couple of, like, parts where I just thought it was very, not, I guess, to me that's graphic, but, like, I don't know. She got her point conveyed.
And I think, I mean, to be fair, like I said, none of it happened on the page. As far as we know, none of it happened to characters that we were to grow to care about. And I'm pretty sure, I'm trying to remember back to when I read Branded Anne, I'm pretty sure there were characters that happened to. Again, not on the page, but, like, characters that we cared about that, you know, it happened.
I can't remember. I can't remember that in Branded Anne. The one scene that's, I can't, okay, I'm going to give away stuff in Branded Anne now, and this isn't a podcast about Branded Anne, so.
Sorry, everybody. For anybody that wants to read that as well, like, if you want another good lesbian pirate book, Branded Anne by Mary Shannon, also from Bold Strokes Books, is very good.
So good.
So if you, now you have recommendations for 2 pirate books. Go get them.
And 2 more Colette Moody books.
Oh, I love her. I love her books. Yeah. That's just a big happy sigh, just thinking about Colette Moody books. I can't believe I haven't reviewed her other 2 books. I have to do it. It has to happen. All right. This has gone slightly off the rails. All right, conclusion. Brooklyn, in conclusion, what do you want to say? Is there anything final that you want to say about this book?
I know that just recently, there's a lot of people that have been talking about, like, lesfic without having it to center around romance. And this one doesn't really super center around romance. While it's there to keep you entertained, it's more about the story. And there's, like, 2 different types of stories that kind of going on with it. And, like, just kind of fun and funny and just to keep you interested. So if you're tired of all that, like, angst and whatnot, I feel like this is a great adventure book to kind of, like, take a break from all that.
Yep. I wholeheartedly second that. Also, who doesn't love lesbian pirates?
Yeah, we took a vote and lesbian pirates won by a landslide, and that's basically why we did this for the we chose it for the podcast.
Yeah, what was it? You did a poll in our Facebook group, the Lesbian Review Book Club, and it was pirates,
gladiators,
and Vikings, right?
And, like, I think there was 4 choices for sure. There was, like, a vampire or something. I don't know.
Face or something? It doesn't matter. Anyway, in a landslide, pirates. Y'all wanted pirates. So, here you go. We hope you're happy with it. And I think that's it. So, again, just a reminder that the next book club book is going to be Embracing the Dawn by Jeannie Levick. And that's it for this episode. Thank you so much, Brooklyn, for coming back and joining me. As always, it's wonderful having you here.
That was always a pleasure, Miss Tara.
And I am Tara. You've been listening to Let's Do Books. Remember to email me at tara@thelesbianreview.com with any questions or comments. You never do, but who knows? Maybe you will start.
What's wrong with you people?
Right? Don't forget to join us at our Facebook group, the Lesbian Review Book Club. You can talk to us about this book and anything else that you're reading and loving. You can also find me and all of the other podcasters on the Lesbian Talk Show channel at our Facebook group, the Lesbian Talk Show chat group. If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to rate this show and subscribe. To find this and many other great shows, all you need to do is search for the Lesbian Talk Show on iTunes, Podbean, or Stitcher.
Bye.
That's it.